Trims that were really yellow and quite unpleasant to look at into a lovely new look. Here's a little job that I've been meaning to do for a very long time. This shower was installed about 12 years ago. Still doing good service. It's got one of these magnetic seal doors. And the situation is very typical, I think, with it. So yeah, they tend to, over the years, don't they, discolour quite badly. And it makes the shower look so bad because you can clean up all this bottom here with various products, and all the chrome work can be cleaned up, and it looks lovely up here when you've cleaned. But then down here, even if you bleach these seals, they never come right. So let's set about changing these. A very simple job, I think. And I've got these from the internet. And these are what the profiles look like on the magnetic strip side. And then there's a plain and simple base seal. So let's set about getting the old ones off and putting these new ones on. If you have a shower door with a magnetic seal like this one, you'll have to find the right seal for the job with a magnet strip in it. It takes a little bit of looking online, but you can soon find it. And the best way, I think, is just to remove the trim, which is quite simple, and then have a little look at the profile that you've got. Have a little look online. So removing the strip is quite simple. You just pull and it quite easily comes off. It might be a little bit tricky in places, but it shouldn't be too difficult. So that's the one side off, and you can see it leaves a residue, so we need to clean up this edge and all the glass actually before we put the strip on. Here's the base seal, and this one is running underneath this little hinge section here, and so it's just going to need releasing like this, and then releasing like that, and then just you pull hard. And as you can see, out it comes. So with this seal, is that you pull it, and it quite easily comes away. And that's now all the seals removed. And so let's set about cleaning the glass and then putting these new strips on. I personally think it's a good idea, by the way, to keep these seals that you take off, especially the magnetic ones, just in case the ones that you've bought aren't for some reason quite right, in which case you can then slip these back on, even though they're discoloured, until you can find something that does work for you. To clean the glass, I'm going to use this product called Viakal, and I absolutely love this product because it eats into dirt, and it really cleans and shines things up very, very quickly. Then I'm going to clean the glass with this product, which is a professional glass cleaner called Soudal. And so these are the products that I like to use, but you can use any glass cleaner and any product you like to clean the gunge, basically, off the door glass. So I've got a little bit on the wall, and I don't mind that at all. Because it will wipe off. Just want to get plenty of this on. I don't mind that it goes on the floor, because that will wipe off, and I'm going to also clean the whole of this chrome frame. I'm also going to clean the silicone and the drainer. So just leaving that for literally a minute or two, and I'm going to agitate it with this little brush here. I like to get loads on so that it does the job really well. You can hear that brush trying to work on that gunk that was built up behind the seal. You can hear it again there. And there we are, all removed. As soon as that scratchy noise is gone, leave this to soak just for a little bit longer. Come back in a couple of minutes. This side I think is okay. So that's all looking good. Now I've left this for 5 minutes and there's still actually some residue actually on this side. So I'm going to use a kitchen scourer, and that will actually bring it off. Just cleaning off now with a damp cloth. So let's get some kitchen roll and some glass cleaner and set to cleaning this glass. This Soudal glass cleaner is a really good product used by a lot of professionals in the window industry, so it's absolutely ideal. So I'm just making sure that all the glass where the seals are going to go is extremely clean, which it is, and the whole of the pane has been cleaned off nicely in advance of these seals going back on. So the way I'm going to do this is just clip. There's a channel here that you can see which goes onto the glass, and I'm going to just clip it on like that. I'm going to go down to the bottom and see where we're at. It needs to be this outside one. When I took it off, I noticed it was flush with the bottom of the glass. So I can see I need to make a little adjustment upwards. And let's see how that is now doing. I'll just pull it down a little bit so that it's flush along the bottom here. Pull it down a touch more, and that's now flush. So I now need to mark this up here, where I then cut it off. And I'm going to put a little mark on here. So I haven't actually cut this product before. I've cut many products like it in my working life, but I've got a pair of snips and a really good pair of kitchen scissors, which is something you may or may not have in your household. Probably have some kitchen scissors or strong scissors. So let's have a little look and see how this actually cuts. Right, so I'm going to do a little test cut first with these snips. So let's go a little bit further up so we don't get too close to where we need to cut and then find ourselves in trouble. So I'm just going to get the measure of this and see what it feels like. Yeah, now that is not going to cut easily with a pair of scissors, although I'll give it a go. It might just get through. No, that's not going to work with a pair of scissors. So if you're going to do this job yourself at home, you're going to need a pair of heavier duty snips like that. It cuts a nice clean edge. You're not going to manage it with the scissors by the look of it. So anyway, let's now cut this. And that's a nice neat cut, and I'm going to just wipe that mark off there. Right, so we're ready to go with the first strip, which I have cut to size and made sure that that's going to fit. So I might need to mist on some glass cleaner here if it gets a little bit tricky to push on, but first of all just push one end on like this, and this is how I'm going to do it anyway. I'm not some sort of shower trim expert at all, but if you use your common sense, I think it becomes quite obvious what you need to do. So that's that on there quite nicely, and I'm going to push, and as you can see, this then pushes onto the glass. Now this glass looks to me like 6mm glass, which most people probably have got 6mm toughened glass in their showers. Some people will have 4 if they're older, I think 4mm. But I think this product from memory fits 4 to 6 or even 6 to 8. You'll have to see when you buy it online, and I'll put a description of it in the information for this video. And that now sits nicely on the bottom, and that's all pushed in. So very simple. Fits nicely along the top as well. So the new strip is on and all looking very smart. So let's see how the door closes. And straight away there's a problem. The magnet isn't attracting this new strip. So this is a magnetic strip. These are the sort of things that I find you get with doing jobs around the house or even professionally. You find lots of little problems. You think it's going to be nice and easy, but this is a really good thing to happen, so you can demonstrate perhaps what to do in this situation. So let's actually pull this strip out, and maybe if we turn it around, so popping it back in the channel, just turned around 180 degrees. And now let's try the door again. And sure enough, it now works. How fortunate that swapping the other magnetic strip round by 180 degrees worked. So that's one strip now nicely in, and let's put the other strip in the side. So with this trim, it's the same method as before. Just put it a little bit onto the glass. This one comes down just a touch below the bottom of the glass, and then up to the top and mark it. So again, as before, make the cut. And with this trim, already I can feel it's a little bit tight, so I am going to spray on some glass cleaner. And run my fingers up either side, just to spread the cleaner, and then on with the trim. And as you can see, with the glass cleaner on, it goes on really nicely. And now we've got two trims on, and isn't this looking smart? Don't worry about the glass cleaner being in that little groove, because it will be absolutely fine. It's a sterile product and it won't go green. So now for the bottom trim or the bottom seal. So same method again. So same method again. Put it to size. Mark slightly beyond where I want to go. Okay, so let's cut this one slightly down from our mark. Right, I've discovered that it goes milky when you cut it through in one go, so you can trim it back and cut the next one by just cutting all the way round like this, which trims it up. So this trim is also very tight, so I'm going to apply some glass cleaner direct to the seal, and this one goes this way around with a slope going inside. So first of all, I'm going to pop it on like that, and I'm going to push it through. It takes a lot of effort, but it is going on. And that is now on. And so here we have the finished job, all the seals on, and doesn't it look smart? So it's gone from a somewhat careworn looking shower, which is pretty inevitable I think over time, with the trims that were really yellow and quite unpleasant to look at. Now with these lovely new trims on, and it converts the shower from an old careworn shower into a lovely new look.